Manning market declared open in Paliagoda. Traders from Upcountry decides to halt supply of vegetables. Several areas isolated in the western province. 42 schools which were closed due to COVID reopened. Hello there and welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1. You're joining me, David Paldano. Now on to your local news this afternoon. The Matara district meeting of the Vadasamaga Yaligamata Development Program is currently being held at the Ruhuna University premises.
The meeting will be chaired by Basir Rajpaksa, the chairman of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Eradication. Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena and several ministers and MPs were also present at the occasion. The implementation of the development proposals presented in the 2021 budget at the grassroots level will take place through the Vadasamaga Yaligamata program.
Now in one of your headline-making stories, traders and lorry drivers from the Upcountry area have decided to withdraw from supplying vegetables to the Colombo Manning market.
Steps have been taken to open the newly established Manning market in the Paliagoda area from today. It will be open from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight today. However, a group of traders says that there is a problem in bringing vegetables to the market at this time. They point out that when lorries bring vegetables from Valimada, Uvaparnagama and Uvarelia to Colombo, it passes midnight. We previously brought the vegetables to the market at 2 in the morning. From yesterday, we were asked to bring it by 4 to Paliagoda. We cannot do that. We normally receive these vegetables from farmers around 4 in the evening. We cannot bring it in 8 hours from there. Even now, it's hard to get to the Manning market at 2 in the morning. Normally, we come around 3 or 4. If they're going to open the market at 4, we will have to sell spoiled vegetables to our customers. Due to this issue, the traders who met at the Kapatipolo Economic Centre yesterday afternoon have decided to suspend the supply of vegetables until the issue is resolved. When we transport vegetables during the daytime, we will have to bring the harvest from the previous day and the customer will get these vegetables after 3 days. Therefore, we decided to withdraw from transporting these vegetables and we request the authorities to make arrangements for us to bring these vegetables from 2 in the morning till dawn.
The government has decided to isolate few more areas effective from 5 a.m. this morning.
Myra Place attached to the Vallavatta Police Division was isolated at 5 a.m. Meanwhile, the following areas in the Gampaha district were isolated today. Naiduwa attached to the Keravalapitiya Grama Sevaka Division, Duvevatta attached to the Valikadamulla Grama Sevaka Division, Rohana Vihara Mawata in Pattiyamulla Grama Sevaka Division, Valikanda in Hunupitiya North Grama Sevaka Division attached to the Kiribadgura Police Jurisdiction. Varanapansala Road, Kattota Road and entrance towards Hidra Mawata in Tiharia North and East Grama Sevaka Divisions attached to the Nittambur Police Jurisdictions were announced as isolated areas. Several areas in the Kalutara district were also isolated. Accordingly, Vegangala East and West Grama Sevaka Division attached to the Bulat Sinhala Divisional Secretariat and Marika Road in the Kuda Hiniangala Grama Sevaka Divisions were isolated. Meanwhile, several areas were released from isolation status today. Keravalapitiya, Hekitta and Kurunduvatta attached to the Vattala Police Jurisdiction, Avrivatta, Valikadamulla Grama Sevaka Division and Pattiya North in Paliagoda. Several housing complexes were also released from isolation status today. Sirisanda Sevana in Grand Pass, Sirimutuyana in Grand Pass, Lakhiru Sevana railway quarters and Sisirawena in Boralla were released from isolation today.
42 of the 45 schools in Kandy were reopened today. Now, according to our correspondent, the student attendance was reportedly low.
Our correspondent said not a single student was in attendance at the Kandy Girls High School. Only 2 students have attended the Swarnamali Girls College in Kandy. Meanwhile, only 5 students have attended the Vihara Mahadevi College in Kandy.
දදිනේ වෙනකොට නැවත පාසල් විවෘත කරනවා.
45 schools which were closed in the central province are being opened today. Amongst them, 7 private schools and 3 privents. So these schools were closed due to the spread of COVID-19 in the Kandy town. So is there an improvement? Only 11 students have reported to Vidyartha College, Kandy. 10 students reported to St. Sylvester's College. 16 students at the Sri Sumangala College, Kandy. There is not a single student reported to Girls High School, Kandy. Now this is the situation. Even this is the same situation in Matara and Matale. Same in North and East. 73 schools in Valikamam Education Zone in North are closed now. So according to Ministry of Education, attending the schools is sole discretion of those who are involved. However, will keep them opened. Ministry of Education says there are 5,300 schools are reopened. However, there is no proper plan in place.
දැන් මේ පාසල් වල දැන් මේ ආකාරයෙන් විවෘත කිරීමට අදාළව කිසිම සැලැස්මක් නැහැ.
The Department of Government Information confirmed yesterday that 3 deaths were reported due to COVID-19 in the country.
Authorities said the deceased included a 62-year-old female from Colombo 10 who had passed away on Saturday due to pneumonia and heart diseases caused by the virus. She had passed away while receiving treatment at the Mullaeriyawa-based hospital. A 71-year-old female resident of Vattala who passed away on Saturday due to pneumonia and blood poisoning caused due to the virus was among the confirmed deaths. She had died under medical care at the infectious diseases hospital. The third death reported by authorities was of a 76-year-old male from Matale due to pneumonia and heart failure. He had passed away on Saturday at the Anuradhapura District Hospital. Meanwhile, 650 COVID-19 infections were identified in the country yesterday, raising the total number of infections recorded since March up to 32,790. Officials' figures indicate that 8,843 individuals are under medical care. 489 individuals had recovered from the infection yesterday, bringing the tally of recovered patients up to 23,793. The total deaths caused by the virus in the country stands at 152.
4 suspects who were involved in a theft at the Punani Treatment Centre in Vala, Chennai were remanded until the 18th of this month. Police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said the suspects are residents of Colombo 2 and Muskelia.
Yesterday, Valachena police arrested 4 suspects who are involved in a theft at the Punani Treatment Centre. 3 of them are residents of Colombo 2, while the other is a resident of Muskelia. The suspects were receiving treatment at the Punani Treatment Centre and were due to be discharged on Saturday. However, when they were discharged, they had made attempts to take the electronic equipment and personal protective equipment from the treatment center. Subsequently, the arrests were made. The suspects were remanded till the 18th of this month after they were produced before the Valachena Magistrates Court.
දරපු අවස්ථාවේදී අත්අඩංගුවට ගෙන තිබෙන්නේ මේ අත්අඩංගුවට ගත් පුද්ගලයන් 4 දෙනා වාලච්චන අධිකරණය වෙත ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමෙන් අනතුරුව ලබන 18 වෙනිදා දින දක්වා ආරක්ෂිත බන්ධනාගාරගත කර තිබෙනවා.
Sri Lankans had the opportunity to see the Geminid meteor shower since last night.
The peak of the meteor shower was seen between 9 and 10 last night. Professor Chandana Jayaratne of the Department of Physics at the University of Colombo stated that this Geminid meteor shower can be seen in the northwestern sky between 2 and 4:30 this morning. The reason behind the name for the meteor shower is because it falls from the Gemini area in the universe, and this shower is said to be the clearest meteor shower of the year.
An investigation has been launched into the sudden death of a fisherman aboard a fishing vessel in the seas off the coast of Melissa.
5 fishermen had ventured out to sea from the Mirissa Fisheries Harbour at around 5:15 p.m. yesterday. However, one fisherman aboard the vessel was reported to have died about half an hour into the journey. The deceased has been identified as a 68-year-old father of 4 and a resident of Valigama. A post-mortem examination is expected to be carried out on the remains of the deceased at the Matara General Hospital. The Valigama police have launched an investigation into the incident.
Police have seized up to 700 kilograms of turmeric that had been smuggled into the country from India.
Police officers had carried out the raid upon receiving information that the contraband had been buried along the coast of Kappaladi in Kalpitia. According to the police, the turmeric is valued at 2.5 million rupees. Our correspondent reported that the seized turmeric is to be produced before the Putlam Magistrates Court. The Kalpitia police have launched an investigation to identify the suspects involved in the racket.
The International Symposium on Multi-Hazard Early Warning and Disaster Risk Reduction will be held in Colombo virtually today.
The virtual Global International Symposium on the Multi-Hazard Early Warning and Disaster Risk Reduction with over 50 countries will be launched today from Bandaranaike International Conference Hall. Several technical sessions will be held with over 160 paper presentations covering Splendor of Prosperity, Disaster Risk Reduction, Climate Change, Sendai Framework, Sustainable Development Goals, Disaster Preparedness, Risk Transfer and Innovative Early Warning Systems and Communications.
International Symposium on Multi-Hazard Early Warning and Disaster Risk Reduction to promote the availability and application of research, science and technology to support implementation of Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015 to 2030.
Large number of participants from around the world will virtually join the symposium with over 100 presenters.
From the 14th to the 16th of December 2020, virtual conference launched from BMICH, Colombo, Sri Lanka. Media partner, Newsfirst.
Now in your international news, the United Kingdom and European Union have agreed to carry on post-trade Brexit talks after a call between leaders earlier yesterday. In a joint statement, Boris Johnson and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said it was responsible at this point to go the extra mile. The pair discussed major unresolved topics during their call. The two sides had said yesterday was the deadline for a decision on whether to continue with talks, with the UK set to leave the EU rules at the end of the month. The leaders agreed to tell negotiators to carry out on talks in Brussels to see whether an agreement can be reached even late at this stage. They did not say how long these talks would continue, but the ultimate deadline is the 31st of December, and time must be allowed for the UK and European parliaments to vote on any deal that emerges before then. Meanwhile, the US has begun delivering the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine across all states with the aim of inoculating more than 100 million people by the end of March. The first doses, packed in containers with dry ice to keep them refrigerated, were transported across the country on trucks and planes early yesterday. US Army General Gustav Perna, who is overseeing distribution, said that the vaccine will be delivered to 145 locations today and a further 491 sites on Tuesday and Wednesday. The initial delivery will cover about 3 million people. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which offers up to 95% protection against COVID-19, received emergency use authorization from the US Food and Drug Administration on Friday, following intense pressure from the Trump administration. And finally, on to your sports news, the Gol Gladiators beat the Colombo Kings in the first semi-final of the inaugural Lanka Premier League yesterday. The second semi-final between the Jaffna Stallions and Dambulla Vikings will take place today at 7 p.m.
There's a couple to play for, and these two to the goal.
After put into bat first by Gol Gladiators, Colombo Kings lost their first 2 wickets for just 32 runs. Dinesh Chandimal scored 14 while Angelo Matthews scored only 6 runs. The Gol Gladiators restricted 6 of the Colombo Kings batsmen from reaching double figures for the loss of 9 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. Chasing a target of 150 runs, Danushka Gunatilaka and Eshan Ali opened the batting for Gol Gladiators. Gunatilaka was just
Bowled him. That is a beauty.
Azam Khan and skipper Bhanuka Rajapaksa then put on 40 runs for the 22 runs.
Gloved on the leg.
Dhananjay Lakshan was the star for the Gladiators as his 31 of 23 deliveries took them home in the 20th over. His knock included 2 fours and a 6.
Well, that's unbelievable entertainment. There'll be a lot of people who'll be happy about
Weaknesses and led well. Not with the
The final rites of late Dunstan Jayasuriya, father of former Sri Lankan cricketer Sanath Jayasuriya, will take place today. Late Dunstan Jayasuriya, who was ill for some time, passed away yesterday morning while receiving treatment at the hospital. He was 80 years of age at the time of his demise. Many, including sportsmen and women and politicians, paid respects to his remains at his residence in Matara. And with that, we wrap up lunchtime news here on TV1. For more news, log on to our award-winning website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First team, I'm David Paldano. Take care.